Alrighty guys, welcome back to Aussie Travellers. We're here in Beachport at the moment. We got my good mate Dave from school, done a few jobs together, and he's got an awesome car behind us. Tell us what you got, mate.
I've got a 2015 Volkswagen Amarok.
Now, I see you've got a few bits and pieces on it, some mods, some, fancy stuff. Tell us about it.
So we've got a couple of little mods. It's still pretty stock, but just got the basics that we've put on. I've got an East Coast Bull Bars alloy bull bar. They're actually Australia's #1 alloy bull bar. They're just taken a few knocks at a few kangaroos and stuff and held up bloody brilliantly. Got a couple of spotties as well, and the GME UHF radio. That's really all we've done to the front here. It's still pretty stock standard. We've got just Dunlop all-terrains for the tyres here. Around the side we've got just the stock side steps from Volkswagen. They actually have been an incredible side step for so strong, like even doing full drive, which is not really designed for, they've held up so well. I will eventually upgrade to some new rock sliders, but at the moment these have held up perfectly fine for what I need. Done a few other things to the car. We've got a safari snorkel here, just your standard safari snorkel, goes through puddles, a couple of crossings, no problem. Yeah, don't go do anything too deep, but everything I need, it's done absolutely handled perfectly. Yeah, around the back we've got, this tray has been custom built for when I got the car. It's built by Paul Evans Welding up in Rochester, one of the best going around. We've actually got an extended range fuel tank built into the tray. So the front probably 100mm of the wall of the tray is actually a fuel tank that's plumbed in, so the diesel all flows down to the factory tank. That holds an extra 80 litres, and yeah, so all up I've got 140 litres. I get about 1400 k's of range out of those two tanks put together. Going around, I've got these side toolboxes. They're plenty of storage for what I need for work and straps and stuff. They're absolutely like all you need. Although for full driving, they do tend to get caught up. It is what came with the tray, but I will eventually upgrade them so they've got a bit of an angle here, so they get caught up a little bit less, as well as when I put a lift on it, it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, going around, we've got the roof racks. I like to call this tray a real all-rounder. It's got enough roof racks so you can carry enough timber for work if you need. The racks come off, it can become a flatbed. I've put a toolbox on the back, so we've got enough storage for when you're camping, you put all your bags or your gear in there. When I'm at work, I put all my tools in there. Coming around, just your Volkswagen tow bar, does all you need it to do. And then I've got here, this is something special. Built into the tray, we've got a positive and negative terminal. These ideal for if your mate's left his light on overnight, you need to jump start him, back your car up, hook the jumper leads to them instead of popping the bonnet. A lot easier. As well as if you've got a pump that you need to pump up your tyres, or you've got a little accessory that needs a plug into the battery, hook them to these. I've got a dual battery set up in the back, so these hook straight into the second battery. So you're not actually draining your starter battery, you're just using your second battery. I've used them, we used them today, we use them all the time. We hooked up 2 pumps to these ones and they worked absolutely beautifully. Coming around here, we got the second toolbox, and in here, a little bit of a mess, but we've got our second battery in there. It's nestled away nicely in there. Charged by the alternator, and yeah, works absolutely beautifully. Up here, we've got an Anderson plug, tied into the second battery. So down the line, when I get a fridge or if I've got another accessory that I need to plug into that needs the power from there, I've got that available here.
Now, you said you wanted to get a lift. What sort of lift do you want, man?
I've been looking into a few different kinds, but I've sort of landed on the Fulcrum lift. They've actually just come out with one that's specifically designed for this car, and I've seen them in action. They're just they work, they perform beautifully, flex lovely, and yeah, just seems like the best fit for me. I'm also considering possibly a GVM upgrade because of the weights that I tend to take in the back for work. Also, the tray being made of steel, as well as having the 80 extra litres of diesel in the front, you tend to get a little bit of sag in the back. Just what happens from carrying the weight. And the suspension that comes stock with the Amarok sometimes sags a little bit. So a GVM upgrade will be probably one of the things I'll get with the lift. And that should lift the back up a little bit nicer and give us a bit more clearance as well.
So earlier you said you've got some Dunlops, but personally I know you've got something in store. What do you got planned?
So that is correct. I am looking at upgrading my tyres to something a bit beefier, a bit more designed for off-road. These Dunlops, they are all-terrains, but they're more on the highway side of the spectrum. I've looked into some tyres. I'm actually getting some BF Goodrich all-terrains. They just seem like the best fit for me. I do a fair bit of city driving, a bit of long-distance country Ks, as well as full driving. And all-terrains seem like the best fit for me. They seem to last a bit longer on-road, a little bit longer than muddies, but also they have the performance and the build that you require when you're going off-roading. So they're the tyres that I'm looking to get. So yeah, in the interior, moving on into here, we've got some black duck seat covers. They are the best of the best when it comes to heavy duty seat covers. These ones have been on since 2015, when the car was new, and they haven't skipped a beat. There's a little bit of wear from just my fat ass going in and out of it all the time, but yeah, other than that, they're perfect seat covers. Spill anything you want on them, wipe them down, they're perfect. Other than that, I've got a little just reversing camera. I'm not exactly sure what brand that is. Hooked into the back of the tray. Really helps when you're backing up to another car or going to a tight space. Visibility can be tough in a car like this, so a camera just makes all the difference. I've also got a GME handheld UHF in there. It's a great UHF, great range, never really had any problems with it. It's just, it lasts forever, and yeah, they're the best of the best when it comes to UHF radios. In the back here, excuse the shit everywhere, we got, again, black duck seat covers, and yeah, it's pretty stock standard in there as well.
All right, Dave, well, you've got a lot of kit on this car, but what would be your favourite mod?
My favourite mod has to be the tray, and in particular the extended range fuel tank. It's just great when you're doing those long trips up to Sydney, over to Adelaide, up here to Robe. Like, to be able to just fill up once and be able to go drive the entire way and not have to worry about filling up again is just incredible. You get so far off a single tank, and yeah, that's probably, if I have to pick one, probably the fuel tank will be my favourite mod.
What would be your favourite trip you've done in it so far?
Well, right here to Robe, like, it's hard to get any better than this. You got the sunset, you're camping on the beach, you're driving along the beach for however many Ks up to Beachport. Yeah, it's an incredible trip. I reckon this has been my favourite so far. Other than that, our local up to King Lake, we do that fairly often. That's always fun. Bit of mud, bit of slipping and sliding around the place. But yeah, overall, here at Beachport Robe, you can't get much better than this, hey?
lastly, what's your favourite beer, mate?
Favourite beer? Well, I'm drinking Great Northerns at the moment. Actually out of this new Yeti cooler. If you haven't got one, pick them up, they're fucking grouse. Other than that, Carlton Draft, always the way to go for me. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.